I never thought the person who would betray me would be living under the same roof. Lexi and I were more than just roommates. We were friends, or so I thought. I'm a painter, not a famous one, not yet, but art is my passion. Every night, after work, I'd come home and paint for hours. I shared everything with Lexi, my ideas, my inspirations, even unfinished canvases. She used to say, "You're so talented. One day you'll be in a gallery." I believed her. What I didn't know was that she had a different plan in mind. One morning, I walked into the kitchen and saw Lexi smiling at her phone. "Big day," she said. "I have a meeting with a gallery downtown." I was happy for her. She did some photography and had been struggling to get noticed. I wished her luck and went about my day, but something didn't sit right. She was acting nervous, jumpy. Later that evening, she left her laptop open while she took a call. Out of curiosity, I peeked and froze. It was a page from the gallery's site. My paintings were on it, but not under my name. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. 4 of my favorite pieces. The ones I stayed up late working on, the ones I poured my heart into, were displayed with her name on the credit line. My hand shook. I felt like the air had been knocked out of me. Lexi didn't even ask. She just took my art and passed it off as her own. She must have taken photos when I wasn't looking. I wanted to scream, but instead I quietly closed the laptop, sat on my bed, and tried to think through the shock. That night, I didn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling, thinking of all the times she said, "You're like a sister to me." I thought about how I supported her during her breakups, her job losses, her lazy days, and now she was using my work to boost her name. I wanted to confront her, but something inside me told me to wait. If she was bold enough to lie to a gallery, she was going to show off. And when she did, I'd be ready. I didn't want a private apology. I wanted a public truth. A few days later, Lexi invited me to her solo gallery show. I acted surprised and congratulated her. She said the gallery was impressed with her new style. I nodded and smiled, playing along. I knew then that she had no idea I had seen the site. She thought I was clueless. That gave me power. Over the next few days, I gathered everything. Photos of me painting, video clips, timestamps, emails I'd sent to myself with concepts and sketches. I didn't just want to tell the truth. I wanted to prove it without question. The night of the show arrived. I wore black, simple but strong. I wanted to look like I belonged, because I did. I walked into the gallery and saw my art hanging on tall white walls. It looked beautiful, painful. Each piece had a little card beneath it. Artist, Lexi Monroe. My stomach twisted, but I kept a steady face. She was surrounded by people, sipping wine, laughing. She spotted me and waved. "You made it," she said. "Of course," I replied. "Wouldn't miss it." My voice was calm. Inside, I was on fire. People circled the room, admiring the pieces. I heard things like, "So raw," and "This artist has real emotion." Lexi beamed. I stood by a corner, listening, waiting. A local blogger started asking her questions about her process. "What inspired this one?" he asked, pointing to a piece based on my childhood memory. She hesitated, then said something vague about pain and color. I almost laughed. She couldn't explain it because it wasn't her story. She didn't know what it meant. That's when I stepped forward. "I can answer that," I said, loud enough for the room to hear. The blogger turned, surprised. Lexi stiffened. "Excuse me," she said, trying to keep her smile. I pulled out my phone and opened a folder. This piece is called 3 Days After She Left. I painted it after my mom walked out. Here's the reference photo I took. Here's the video of me working on it in our apartment. And here's a time lapse that shows every brushstroke. I handed him the phone. His eyes widened. People around us leaned in. The gallery owner appeared from the side. Brows furrowed. Lexi went pale. The room had gone completely silent. The blogger looked at Lexi. "Is this true?" she stammered. I didn't mean to." The gallery owner cut her off. "You said this was your original work." She had no answer. I stayed calm. I wasn't angry anymore. I was clear. I don't want drama. I just want the truth to be seen. That's all I've ever wanted. The owner looked at me. "Can we talk?" I nodded. He led me to the back room. People started whispering, pulling out their phones. The moment was real now. The lie had exploded, and I hadn't raised my voice once. In the back, I showed the gallery director more proof, emails, photos, drafts. "This is my work," I said. "Every piece of it. I didn't even know she submitted them until I saw your website." He shook his head. "I'm so sorry. This has never happened before. We're going to make this right." I didn't cry. I just nodded. I had already mourned the betrayal. Now I was standing in the correction, and it felt better than I imagined. I walked out of the office calmly. Lexi was gone. She had slipped out quietly. No goodbye. The next day, the gallery issued a statement. They removed Lexi's name and replaced it with mine. They offered me a solo feature the next month. I accepted. The blogger posted the full story. Screenshots and all. It spread fast. Comments flooded in. "Good for her. Justice." This is why artists need to protect their work. I got emails from other artists who had been stolen from. People shared their pain, their victories, their warnings. I wasn't alone. My story mattered. Not just for me, but for everyone. Whoever stayed quiet when someone else took credit. I moved out of the apartment a week later, packed my brushes, my books, my easel. I left the key on the counter. I didn't speak to Lexi again. She tried to text once. "Can we talk?" she wrote. I blocked her. Some things don't deserve closure. Some people choose their own silence when they lie loudly enough. I wasn't going to help her feel better. I wasn't going to give her peace. That was mine now, and I planned to keep it. The new show was everything I hoped for. People came, not because of the drama, but because of the art. They stood in front of my work and saw the truth behind the color. They listened to me speak, asked about my story, and understood what it meant to create something from pain. This time, my name was printed on every card, every flyer, every banner. I wasn't a shadow anymore. I was the artist, and I had earned it. Not just through talent, but through the strength to stand up for myself. It's funny how people treat you differently when they know what you've been through. Some old friends came back, saying they always knew. I had it in me. I nodded, but didn't say much, because I knew who was there when I was still invisible. I knew who watched me paint at 3 a.m. without clapping. I didn't need new cheerleaders. I just needed peace, space, and honesty. I had all three now, and I wasn't trading them for anyone's approval ever again. I still paint every night, still lose myself in color and shape. But now I don't hide what I make. I sign every piece proudly. I speak openly about my work, and I protect it. Because what Lexi did taught me something. Your voice is part of your art. If you let others take it, they take everything. But if you use it calmly, truthfully, you don't just win. You rise. And no one can take that from you again. So, yes. My roommate took credit for my art. She smiled at me while stealing from me. She lied to a gallery, stood under my work, and claimed my story as hers. But I didn't fight back with anger. I let her walk herself into the spotlight. And then I showed the world what she was hiding. Not for revenge, but for truth. Because some moments don't need noise. They need light. And when the truth finally shines, it speaks louder than anything else.